Hello, I'm Tony, and today we are looking at Twinkle Star Sprites, a game free from Prime Gaming until the end of October 2023, so there's plenty of time to grab this arcade shooter from SNK if you want to. I'll be honest, this wasn't a game I was looking forward to playing. The name itself put me off a bit. It's kind of really cutesy, so my expectations were kind of low, and I wasn't really sure what I was in for. But I got pleasantly surprised. Let me explain why. This is an arcade shooter with a bit of a twist. It comes from 1996, so not surprisingly, the graphics are what you'd have to call retro looking now. They're 2D sprites on a scrolling background, like the majority of these SNK games. But this one has a more cartoon style that actually suits the game really well. The music is upbeat pop that reflects the frenetic pace of the game itself, and there's actual pew pew sound effects mixed in with proper speech. It's not going to blow your mind, but everything about the visuals and sound fit the style and the feel of the game. The game itself is, like I said, a shoot 'em up, but one with a twist. You're fighting against another character in split screen mode, and as you destroy the various cartoon-like enemies coming down the screen at you, fireballs are chucked across the divide at your foe, and vice versa. If you manage to shoot down the opposing fighter's fireballs, you actually power them up and chuck them right back at them, which is a bit of a high risk, high reward strategy, as you can do a lot of damage if you do get them back, but you can obviously get wrecked yourself. Hit enough back and do enough damage to the enemies coming down your screen, and you can even get a boss appearing on the opponent's screen, which hopefully does more damage to them, or at least leaves them vulnerable to you. You have a bunch of hearts denoting your health, which drops slightly if you get hit by the enemies on your side, and drops a lot if your foe's fireballs hit you. Run out of hearts and you lose one of your 3 lives. So this being a conversion of an arcade game, you've always got the option to just hit continue as often as you like. A nice touch though is if you get to the final level without using a continue, it will be noted. You do get some health back from hurting your opponents too, which means fights can suddenly be over really quickly, as things can snowball for you or your opponent. You can go from almost no health to full health and destroying your opponent in seconds. If you get into a really sticky situation, you do have a couple of bombs available that clears the screens of enemies. What it looks like differs between the characters, but they all do the same thing. You've only got 2, but there are some pretty rare power-ups that appear that give you a bomb back, but they are few and far between, so you only use the bombs when you really need to. There are other power-ups which I'm going to leave up to you to discover, because I don't know what they do. It can be really hard to see what effect they have. When we start the game, we're offered 3 different modes of play: character, story and versus. Character mode lets you play through the game with any of the 9 anime-like fighters that are on offer. They've all got different attributes which, I'll be honest, didn't seem to make a huge amount of difference in play. Story mode restricts you to a single character, Load Ran, and you do get a story, which makes sense. By which I mean, it makes sense that you get story in story mode. The story itself does not make much sense. This is probably due to translation issues, plus a lack of any kind of QA on the text. There's a lot of really odd sentences and a lot of misspelt words. It don't really matter though, because there's only 7 levels to play through in both this and the character mode, so there isn't a lot of story anyway. There's also 4 difficulty options: easy, normal, hard and insane, which I only noticed after finishing the game first. I don't know what difficulty that was on. I suspect normal, might have been easy. The pattern and strength of the enemies on your side of the screen doesn't seem to change as you up the difficulty, but your foe powers up significantly faster and ends up throwing tons of fireballs at you right from the start, which obviously makes the game tougher, but paradoxically can make it easy for you if you manage to destroy all of those fireballs and send them back. Versus mode allows for 2-player split screen play, which I can imagine would be fun if you can convince a friend to use a keyboard while you lord it up with a controller, and assuming you have a friend. I've not been able to try this out for reasons. This was a fun shoot 'em up that waited quite a long time before introducing that usual ramp up in difficulty arcade games often have. I only really found the last 2 levels on normal difficulty any kind of a challenge to begin with. After a bit of practice I managed to get to the last level, the 7th, without a continue. And I think I only used 2 continues to finish the game the first time, because I just wanted to see what happened, how many levels there were. The last level felt like a real step up in difficulty though. That's fine, I mean there's only 7 levels, and some levels lasted less than 30 seconds. We're not talking about a long run here. A bit of a challenge is entirely necessary to make this game worth playing, I think. It plays really well though, and the split screen fight against an opponent is a really good mechanic that adds a lot to the game. How long you'll play this for really depends on how well you're going to resist the temptation to just hit continue, and also how much you want to carry on playing the same levels if you try higher difficulties. Using continues at a normal level, this game will be finished within an hour. Playing on insane level has me still going after 3, though I can't promise that I'm going to carry on playing after this video is done. If you like shoot 'em ups, I think this novel approach is absolutely worth trying out. So I recommend fans of the genre go grab this. Just don't expect too much longevity. Okay, I'm off now, so thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.